Have you ever felt completely trapped in a cycle you just can't seem to break? Well, today we're going to dive into the predictable pattern that drives addiction. It's a really powerful force, for sure, but by understanding it, we can actually learn how to master it.
It's such a frustrating feeling, isn't it? You're making real progress, you're feeling on top of the world, and then bam, you are right back where you started. It feels like running on a treadmill that you can't get off of, and it just completely wears you out.
But here is the good news. That pattern, it is not random. It's not just you. It is a predictable cycle. And once you can actually see the map of that cycle, you can start to find your way out.
And that map, it actually has a name. It's called the cycle of recovery. Specifically, in the world of porn addiction, it's a framework that shows this recurring loop of three very distinct phases. You've got relapse, then reboot, and finally, retreat. Getting a handle on this is everything.
So what do these phases actually look like? More importantly, what do they feel like from the inside? Let's break it all down.
So here it is, the whole cycle at a glance. It all kicks off with a relapse, and weirdly enough, that relapse actually fuels a super motivated phase called the reboot. But that period of success, that high, eventually gives way to the retreat, which pulls a person right back to square one. So let's take a closer look at each step. Okay, so we're starting with phase one. The relapse. Now, this is that moment of falling back into an old habit, but what's so crucial to understand is the mindset that comes right after. So in the immediate aftermath of a relapse, the feelings of guilt and shame can be just overwhelming. But in that emotional low point, something kind of amazing happens. You get this moment of incredible clarity and motivation. This is that never again moment, right? All the reasons to quit are suddenly crystal clear. And that sparks real action, deleting files, installing blockers, making plans to change. This isn't just about willpower, it's practically a biochemical reaction to the crash, which makes that desire for change feel more urgent than ever before.
So all of that intense motivation, where does it go? Well, it leads us straight into the next phase of the cycle, and honestly, this one feels a whole lot better.
And this is the reboot phase. You might know it better as the streak. After some time away from the old habit, your brain actually starts to heal. In this phase, it's marked by this huge surge of positive energy. You feel confident, productive, alive again. And it's not just a feeling. Your brain is literally recalibrating, which lets natural rewards feel good again, and that creates this powerful upward spiral. This is the version of yourself you wish you could be all the time.
I mean, just look at the difference here. It's like we're looking at two completely different people. In phase one, all the motivation comes from shame, this desperate need to just quit. But in phase two, that exact same drive transforms into this positive force, fueling a desire for a much better life.
But after the high of the reboot phase comes the most challenging part of the whole cycle. This is where all that progress can really start to unravel. The retreat is always kicked off by a trigger, and it could be literally anything. Stress, boredom, just an unexpected image. And then suddenly, the cravings hit, and they hit with an intensity that just shatters the peace and calm of the reboot phase. What's happening is these triggers are activating these really deep, old pathways in your brain, sending this powerful, almost automatic signal to go find that old reward. And this quote from our source material just captures that internal struggle perfectly. It's this feeling of just losing your grip, of battling this overwhelming urge that makes you feel completely and utterly helpless.
And if you don't have a specific game plan for that specific state of mind, that intense struggle of the retreat almost always leads right back to phase one. The cycle closes. The whole loop just starts all over again.
So this is the really crucial part, understanding why this cycle is so ridiculously hard to break. And it all comes down to a fundamental mismatch of mindsets. And this right here, this is the heart of the whole problem. That super motivated person from phase one, he's completely missing in action when the cravings hit hard in phase three. And that confident, on top of the world person from phase two, poof, vanished by the time the guilt of phase one comes crashing down. It's like they're three different people who can't talk to each other. Which, it begs the question, if your mind is in a completely different place in each phase, how on earth can we expect a single strategy, made in one emotional state, to work across all three of them?
Well, spoiler alert, you can't. The key to mastering this cycle is not about finding one single silver bullet. It's about developing specific, tailored strategies for each unique phase you're in.
And this is where we really see the solutions start to take shape. Okay, so in the relapse phase, when you're fired out with all that guilt and motivation, that is your golden opportunity to build a solid foundation.
You use that clarity to make your future environment safer. We're talking installing blockers, sure, but also writing down your why, scheduling a talk with someone you trust. You're setting up guardrails for your future self. Then, during the reboot, when you're feeling great, the whole focus is on maintaining that streak by actively building a new life. This is the time to pour energy into new hobbies, new relationships, creating healthy ways to feel good so the old ones have less of a pull. And then, for the retreat phase, when the cravings are relentless, it is all about managing those triggers and urges. This means you need a pre-planned emergency response, a person to call, a place to go, a specific action to take to just ride out the urge.
See? By just identifying which phase you're in, you can apply the right tool for the job. You can finally stop trying to fight a powerful craving with some vague promise you made to yourself weeks ago. Instead, you meet each moment with the specific strategy it actually demands.
So the real question, it shifts from how do I stop this cycle to how do I master it? Because once you understand the parts, you can finally prepare for each one. So really think about it. What does building your foundation, maintaining your streak, and managing your retreat actually look like for you? Because that is where real sustainable change finally begins.